refrigerator Perry and just how hard he hit. And my mama told me homecoming games are the best on the banks of those late fall, late cartwheel sunsets. I wanted to be just like Jeff Davis when I grew up, tackling Seminoles and Bulldogs, playing football in the mud. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. I feel really sorry for our sisters to the south, 'cause they come up here every other year and get punched in the mouth. Oh, and every home Saturday, it gives us the chills to watch those boys in orange run together down that hill. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh, somewhere up in heaven, Gaines Adams makes us sad, and that old Banks McFadden is the best damn running back. So everybody sing Tiger Rag at the top of your lungs, and we'll party like it's 1981. Make those Death Valley lights shine brighter. And for good luck, we got Howard's Rock to beat the hell out of them old Gamecocks. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. It's a damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Everybody, damn good day to be a Clemson Tiger. Oh yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Tuesday to everybody. I hope this new time works out for everybody, because this is when it's going to have to be. Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you're cool or amazing or fantastic, you will be here. Otherwise, you're not any of those things. So before I get into what I want to talk about today, I want to just say what's up to whoever's in the chat here. Let me pull it up. Bear with me a second. I'm not very smart. A Pack fan, good afternoon, sir. Uncle Luke, our resident North Carolina fan. Prince 6'1", my man. Miranda Dansby, how you doing, ma'am? Good afternoon to you. Nick Bro, 81 Clemson Tiger 16. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Let's see. Clemson Jacob, how are you doing today, sir? Good afternoon. Billy Dawson, my man. Now, Be Spooky, what's up, PD boy? I'm going to pretend you didn't say that, but we all know that you did, so you can't take it back now. Let's see who else we got in here. X Glover, hello. Good afternoon, sir. What was that comment I just saw? I'm glad you mentioned that. Not the donation thing, but the 1K thing. Because I've got to give a big thank you to, several of you who are getting me subscribers, telling people about me, sharing my stuff on Twitter and Facebook or wherever else. I got to tell you, how good that makes me feel that you would do that. And believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed. I know who all of you are, and I will be doing a giveaway. I'm not going to win. Afternoon, sir. How you doing? Dondre Crawford, I'm glad you could finally make a stream, sir. Excuse me, I'm parched. Yes, definitely give the video the thumbs up. That helps on YouTube for anybody who doesn't know. It is what it is. But, all right, so today I'm going to go ahead and get the Urban Meyer thing out of the way. There is no new news in the Urban Meyer thing. Big shocker. So apparently the investigation was wrapped up on Sunday. You know, the one that Ohio State did into their own program. Yeah, that one. So they announced yesterday that Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I think, the Board of Trustees is going to meet and discuss personnel changes. Basically what they're saying is they're going to figure out who to fire so that they can keep Urban Meyer. So that's what we're looking for. I guess tomorrow they'll have the meeting. I'm guessing we'll have to wait another 10 days to figure out who's getting fired or not. I don't know. But I'd be willing to bet any amount of money that mattered to me that Urban Meyer is not getting fired. Yeah, you can let me know what your thoughts on that are. So, B Spooky says Urban Meyer will probably just get a game suspension. He doesn't even matter because we play Oregon State, which is an easy ass W. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I'd say a 1 to 3 game suspension, something like that. When do you play TCU? Good afternoon, the Sports Fury. I would normally say good afternoon, Josh, but last time I said that, Sean got upset because I didn't call him out. So good afternoon, Josh and Sean, either or both, doesn't matter. Welcome to the stream, sir. The Sports Fury, while you're on here, I want to thank you for your epic shout out last night when you mentioned on your stream about working with me. And believe me, guys, the feeling is mutual. I'll just leave it at that. Those guys are awesome. Go check them out if you haven't already. A Pac Fan 12, we're likely to hear something about Urban Meyer tomorrow. My official prediction. My official prediction is that you won't hear anything about it tomorrow. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me. But they're going to meet about it tomorrow. Doesn't mean they're going to announce it tomorrow. Believe me. Uncle Luke says it's a good day to be a Tar Heel. It's not basketball season, sir. So I'm no offense, but yeah. So the topic of discussion for today, and then we can get into your questions, comments, criticisms, all of the above. I'm sure there are plenty of them. I've actually, right before the stream started, spent about 5 minutes arguing online with a viewer in the comment section, which is a daily occurrence for me. So I don't know if he's in here, but if he is, then speak up or forever hold your peace, sir. Anyway, I don't know why I argue with these people online. I should know better than that by now. That's the whole reason I started this channel. I was arguing with people online so much that I said, you know what? It'd just be better to put it on video. So I spent half my day arguing with people. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Probably is. So a couple of hot topics. Anytime you make a list like this, you're going to piss some people off, and you're going to get people telling you you're stupid. I'm no stranger to that. Trust me. So what I put together today was a top 5 list pre-2018 season for quarterbacks, both in college and in the NFL. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on with my throat. Believe me, if I knew, I'd fix it. It's probably this damn South Carolina shirt. I'm allergic to it, I think. It's too close to me. Throw it over there. So the way I did this list for the college quarterbacks, I did not pick anybody that has a quarterback controversy. So I did not pick Trevor Lawrence or Kelly Bryant on this list, okay? I did not pick Tua Tagovailoa or Jalen Hurts on this list. We don't know who's going to start in those situations. Now, after I got done making this list, I was looking over it and I noticed, not intentionally, that I picked one quarterback out of each Power 5 conference. And that was not by design, I promise you. That's just the way it came out. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you my top 5 quarterbacks in college football this year. And like I said, not a freshman, number 1, and not somebody who's not been named a starter yet, number 2. So at number 5, he has the best wide. I need something. I need a throat lozenge maybe. I don't know. But I'm already feeling better since I threw that South Carolina shirt over there. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So Ryan Finley at number 5. Number 4, I have Will Grier from West Virginia, formerly of Florida. I don't think this is any secret. Will Grier is projected to be the best quarterback in the Big 12 this year. I mean, you do have the Oklahoma kid coming in. He hasn't started the game yet. We don't know what he's going to look like. He may be the best quarterback in the history of football for all we know. I'm not putting him on the list preseason. For all we know, he could throw 18 interceptions. So before the Oklahoma fans start crying on here, that's why I did not pick him. And Will Grier is an NFL talent. Yeah. So number 3 out of the Big Ten, Trace McSorley. Now I believe that Trace McSorley is the best quarterback in the Big Ten. He's not a big guy. I don't know how he'll translate to the NFL. And when I say he's not a big guy, I don't even think he's as big as Baker Mayfield, because that was the knock on Baker Mayfield coming out of college during the draft, that he wasn't big enough. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield's 6'1", fast, big arm. I mean, he's not Johnny Manziel. But anyway, Trace McSorley, I mean, the kid that's coming into Michigan that was a transfer from Ole Miss, Shea Patterson, he may be better, but Trace McSorley's been playing in the Big Ten, and Patterson hasn't. I know what McSorley can do. With or without Saquon Barkley, I expect him to have a big year. So at number 3, I have Trace McSorley out of Penn State. Number 2, out of the Pac-12. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you who it is, and then I'll give you my caveat to this. I have Jake Browning. I think this is a no-brainer. This guy's a senior also. A couple of years ago, he put up amazing stats. Last year, he took a little bit of a step back. I think that was just more of the fact that he lost a lot of talent from that year before. I think that he'll have a big year this year. Obviously, I'm a big believer in Washington. I have them going to the playoff. That says it all right there. The other quarterback out of the Pac-12 that it was an honorable mention is Khalil Tate. The reason I did not put Khalil Tate on this list is because Khalil Tate's a great athlete and a great playmaker, but he's not a great quarterback. But believe me, he won't be an NFL quarterback. He won't even get drafted as a quarterback. He had more rushing touchdowns and rushing yards than he did passing touchdowns and passing yards. And I expect to see more of that this year. He's on the Heisman list because he's electric, but he's not making a quarterback list as far as quarterback play goes. And last and not least, out of the SEC, Drew Lock. Now, this is not a surprise to anybody who's been watching me during the offseason. I'm very high on Drew Lock. I mean, last year he threw 44 touchdowns, which is a record. He may not throw 44 touchdowns this year, but listen, in a 12-game schedule or 13 games or however many they played, if you include the bowl game, 44 touchdowns, even if you're playing a high school team, is amazing and fantastic. Anybody who says any different, they say, oh, he threw 44 touchdowns, but you got to look who it was against. I mean, you could throw 44 touchdowns versus the Bad News Bears, and it would still be amazing. And he's got a big arm. He's a smart kid, big kid, and I think that he also will be drafted into the NFL. It's hard to say where he'll be taken, but we'll get a better idea after this season. So now that I've got those 5 out of the way, I'm going to see the negative reactions to what I'm saying. This would be a good time to wipe my nose with that Gamecock shirt. Oh, yeah. I would show you that nasty booger that's on there. Oh, yeah. That's the best tissue I think I've ever had. I think it's definitely going to come in handy during flu season, for sure. Will Jones, good afternoon, sir. Let's see. The Sports Fury says, nothing to debate. We don't have enough tape to really know what will happen in his career. All we got is our opinion and estimation. Well, yeah, and believe me, my opinion is worth basically nothing. But to me, it's golden. And by the way, while we're talking about opinions, I always like to pat myself on the back whenever I get a chance. To the Bills, blah, blah, blah. He sucks. He's going to be a bust. Meanwhile, preseason, all of a sudden now he's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton Manning all rolled into one. So he hadn't played it down yet in a meaningful game. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Josh Allen's going to be good. Second of all, Baker Mayfield. I watched job, but listen, Baker Mayfield may not play this year. They say they're going to sit him for a year. He will be a good starting quarterback in this league for a long time if he stays healthy. He's an elite arm talent. He knows his football smarts, his football IQ even is off the charts. He's just a magical player. He reminds me of Deshaun Watson in the way that he can make something happen out of nothing, Russell Wilson-esque, if you will. And I think that I will prove everybody wrong about Baker Mayfield. And, of course, Deshaun Watson, going way back before the season started. I spent 6 months in the offseason before Watson got drafted last year saying that he's the best quarterback in the country. He should go number 1 overall in the draft. Everyone said he's Vince Young 2.0, Tim Tebow. I don't know what these people are watching. And, of course, he proved them wrong within 6 games. If he stays healthy, he will be an elite talent and a Super Bowl winner and probably an MVP multiple times. George, good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. Cody Marmon, I don't believe I've seen you in here, but good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. If you're here, I'm sure you are amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. Let's see. Dondre Crawford says he picks UNC to win the Coastal until all players got suspended. Well, I would have to disagree with you, sir. I don't think – I mean, they weren't winning the Coastal no matter who got suspended. And that's just my opinion. George says Baker Mayfield is the only reason I may watch a game in the pros this year. Well, you may be not watching the pros this year. According to the Browns head coach and general manager, they have no intention of starting Baker Mayfield this season. Now, he will play, but they don't have any intention of starting him until next year, according to them. So without further ado, I'll get into my top 5 NFL quarterbacks. This is going to be where some people get pissed off because, first of all, this is just my opinion, again, and there's a couple in here that people are going to be like, what? Are you stupid? Do you watch football? Yes, I do, and yes, I am stupid, so I'll go ahead and answer both of those questions for you before I even start. There's 10 quarterbacks in the NFL that are starting right now that can make this top 5 list. So I had to pick 5 of them. Get over it. Get a tissue. Get a Gamecock shirt to cry in if you need to. But here it is. Without further ado. I wrote it down on some mail, too. Like that. Yeah. All right, so number 5. And this is not in any particular order, by the way. Just the top 5 random. Okay. Number 5, Russell Wilson. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. The guy is Baker Mayfield. He's Deshaun Watson. He's an elite talent. I don't like him in interviews because he says nothing and he's boring. And he's like a life coach guy who just says, we're the greatest thing and we love each other and the city's great and blah, 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 blah. Says absolutely nothing about football whatsoever. He's like the Bill Belichick of quarterbacks. But nonetheless, without Russell Wilson, the Seahawks would be a 5-11 team, period. Number 4. Now, this is what's going to piss some people off here. I have Deshaun Watson. Yes, I'm a homer for Clemson. No secret there. But like I said before, I spent 6 months before he got drafted telling everybody that he was going to be a good NFL quarterback. Comes out there in 6 games last year, throws 19 touchdowns. He was on his way to throw 50 before he got hurt. And I'm not saying he would have thrown 50, but how many players have come into the league in their first 6 games or 7 games or whatever it was, 6 starts, and threw 19 touchdowns? He had more touchdown passes in 6 games than 25 of the 32 quarterbacks had in the entire season. And they had no offensive line. Their defense was terrible. Meanwhile, he went up and stood toe-to-toe in Seattle, in New England, blew Tennessee off the map. The list goes on and on and on. If Watson stays healthy this year, I believe that Houston will win the South and get at least a 2nd overall seed in the playoffs. So let's see. Number 3, I have Carson Wentz for obvious reasons. Same reason I have Watson at number 4. Wentz is obviously an elite talent. Now, he wasn't there when they won the Super Bowl. He was on the sideline. That's a great team he plays on. But before he got hurt, he was arguably the best quarterback production-wise and what he meant to his team in the entire NFL last year. And if he stays healthy, Philadelphia is going to be hard to beat this year. That's just all there is to it. You can go watch my Carolina Panthers prediction video season, and I talk about we play the Eagles this year in Philadelphia, and I didn't think twice about it. I had us losing that game, and Wentz is a big reason why. Before I get to number 2 and number 1, B Spooky says, honestly, Stidham may be quarterback 1 come 2019. Are you talking about the draft? Well, yeah, that may be true. I don't know. But Stidham is not one of the 5 best quarterbacks in college football this year. Sorry, he's not. So number 2 on the list, Aaron Rodgers. Enough said. That's one that we can all agree on. There's no argument for anybody there, I hope. If you don't think that Aaron Rodgers is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, then you clearly need to start watching soccer, tennis, golf, whatever it is else, something other than football. And, of course, number 1, I have Tom Brady. I'm no New England Patriots fan, but there's an argument between Brady and Montana, who's the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You pick one, I don't care. But if you're the GOAT and you're still playing and you won an MVP last year, you're not getting left off the list. So there it is. I'm sure I'll get yelled at until somebody will tell me that how did I put Watson on there, not Ben Roethlisberger? Who else? Who else am I missing here? Don't even come at me with Matt Ryan. Drew Brees could be on the list. I'll give you that much. Yeah, yes, Nick Bro says Drew Brees. Yes, he definitely can make the list. But like I said, I can only pick 5. And I think that if Watson stays healthy and Wentz stays healthy, that they will do better this year stat-wise than even Drew Brees does. I wouldn't say Cam Newton's top 5. I have him in the top 10 for sure. Yeah. Listen, I'm the biggest defender of Cam Newton that you're ever going to meet. Okay? Cam Newton is a top 10 quarterback in the league. He's not better than Brady. He's not better than Rodgers. He's not better than Wentz. He's not better than Watson. He's not better than Wilson. Not. So I'm sure the Carolina Panthers fans are jumping out a window right now, hitting the unsubscribe button so fast that their head is spinning. But you know what? I don't care. But Cam Newton is definitely in the top 10. Dondre Crawford says, is Trevor Lawrence that good? People are comparing him to Andrew Luck in college. No, I didn't forget about Big Ben, sir. I just didn't put him on the list. Where do I have Jameis Winston? I'd have to give it more thought because I only did the top 5, so I'd have to do a 6 through 10 and see if he fits in there. If he's not in the top 10, he's just out of it. He's definitely in the top 15. I don't know if he's in the top 10 or not. I don't know. I'd have to. That's a whole nother video, sir. Rocha says, not better than Jimmy G. Who's not better than Jimmy G? Don't even tell me Cam Newton, sir. You're high if you're going to tell me that. Jimmy G has played not even a season of football. Yeah, he won a couple games. Yeah, he's banging a porn star. That doesn't compare to 4 division titles, an NFC title, NFL MVP, and 7 NFL records in your first 7 seasons, sir. Sorry. Just doesn't. Leave Big Ben alone along 2 championships. Yes, Big Ben could easily make this list. Okay. He could, but he didn't. Sorry. Baby hands Winston. Oh, you guys. Cody Marmon says, Pete, does Kelly Bryant lose his job this year to Trevor Lawrence? And I'll tell you what, the same thing I tell everybody, because I've been doing a stream pretty much every day for the past 2 weeks, along with a lot of videos during the off season. I mean, I probably uploaded 150 videos during the off season, and I'll go ahead and pat myself on the back for that too. Do you know how hard it is to upload 6-7 videos a week on college football during the off season? I'm amazing and fantastic. Clearly. Anyways, I spent a lot of time talking about that subject is what I was getting at while I was giving myself a lot of kudos. But in short, I would say more than likely, yes. Lawrence will take over that job at some point. I used to think that it was going to be week 2, week 1, week 3, somewhere around there. I'm not so sure about that now. I think right now what we're looking at is they're going to play 2 quarterbacks. Probably Kelly Bryant will start, get the vast majority of the snaps, unless he loses a game. If we go in there week 2 to Texas A&M, which I think is an easy win for Clemson, regardless who's quarterback, Kelly Bryant throws a couple picks, gets behind by a couple touchdowns. At that point, you'll see Trevor Lawrence come in and never look back. If we go in there and start Kelly Bryant and we win by 3 touchdowns, Kelly Bryant's not getting benched, and I don't see him losing any more games unless a fluke game, like Syracuse was last year. If he continues to win, they're not going to bench him. So it's a very hard thing to try to figure out at this point because Bryant's a senior, way more experience. Clemson Jacobs says, banging a porn star puts you at top 5 automatically. I would have to disagree with you, sir. Did you see? I don't even know what the woman's name was. She looked like she was, a has-been film star, not like an up-and-coming one, if you know what I mean. She's been around the block. I mean, listen, if you're 40 years old and you've been doing that for 20 years, there's a lot of tread on those tires. And, I mean, I'm not going to give him a whole lot of love for that one. She looked like she was rode hard and put up wet, to say the least. Jamie McCaslin, welcome to the stream, sir. Good afternoon. He says, Trevor will play at some point this season with the new redshirt rule. Yeah, I was having that discussion today with my father-in-law about whether or not Trevor will get redshirted. I don't think he will. First of all, he'll play in more than 4 games, whether he starts or not. So that's automatically going to eliminate him from the new redshirt rule. And he's an elite talent, probably will be, when he does come out of college, the first or second quarterback taken in the draft, maybe first overall in the whole draft. That's how good of a talent he is. So he's not hanging around longer than he has to. So we got him for 3 years. We're going to use him to the best of our ability for those 3 years, period. So I don't think he'll get redshirted. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. BVD, and a BVD is in the house. A BVD. Welcome to the stream, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you are fantastic and amazing. Otherwise, you would not be here. I already happen to know for a fact that you are fantastic and amazing. But that's a whole nother subject. But anyway, welcome to the stream, sir. I'm glad you could finally stop in for one. BBD says, what up, Pete? So where do you have my Vols ranked in your preseason? 1 million? You're not going to like my answer. 1 million is a little off the chart there. I'm sure Catfish, he cringes when he watches me. Catfish loves me, and I love him. But what he's heard me say several times that I think that Tennessee, if they win 6 or 7 games, that'll be considered a win this year. They're in a rebuild, new coach. It just is what it is, man. Okay, so I'd say that Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, and probably even Missouri will all have more wins than Tennessee this year. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's just what it is. Let's see. Sports Fury says, yes, I am here just working. He's trying to work. He's trying to make that money. Uncle Luke says, Pigskin Pete, I hate the Carolina Panthers going 12-4. The 4 losses will be to the Eagles, Steelers, Saints, and Falcons. Also, good afternoon. I don't know if I told you I'm a Panthers fan too. Well, I'm glad you're a Panthers fan. I think that's the 4 teams I picked us to lose to. Split the Saints, split the Falcons. I said we would lose to the Steelers and the Eagles. So we're right on the same page, sir. And if you agree with me, you're clearly a genius, because I'm a genius. A Pack fan says, I've got Purdue starting 55th this year. Does that sound reasonable? Yes. I mean, I haven't gone that deep into the weeds to rank the top 60 teams. I usually just do like, every other average Joe out there and do top 25. But 55th sounds good to me, sir. If it sounds good to you, you probably know more about it than I do. BVD says, I hate to tell everybody, but catfish is... Okay, I'm not going to say that. Okay, I'm not going to say any of it. You guys can read it, though. What in the hell? This watch has a mind of its own. B Spooky says, Panthers will lose to the Bengals, and I will forever flex in Pete's stream. You will be flexing in a stream. It just won't be the stream you're talking about, sir. It'll be a stream that's coming from me and splashing on you. But the Bengals could beat Carolina all they want. I mean, they could beat them 50-0 if that makes you happy. But guess what? The Bengals aren't winning their division, and the Bengals aren't making the playoffs. And if the Bengals do make the playoffs, we all know how that works out now, don't we? Pete, would you have Miami ranked in your top 25? Yeah, Miami's in the top 10. I think they're ranked 7th. Yeah, I would. They're definitely a top 25 team. They're a top 10 team. Yeah, my watch is possessed. I don't know what's up with this thing. It literally has a mind of its own. See you, Dondre Crawford. Have a good afternoon, sir. Thank you for stopping in. I hope you have a great day. The Bungles. Yes, the Bungles. The red rifle, the red BB gun, whatever you want to call him. If he doesn't make it as a quarterback, he says, yep, I have my bottles of liquor ready to drink myself into a coma like a true fan. At least you're not the Browns, sir. Although, how bad is that going to be for Bengals fans if the Browns win more games than they do this year? And that's very possible, by the way. Falcons Fury, good afternoon, sir. He says he's late. He lied on Twitter. Yes, you're a liar, sir. You did tell me you were going to be here, and you weren't. But better late than never. I won't hold it against you, I promise. Jamie says, I said where in your top 25, and we were 8 in the AP. I would have you right around that. Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah, 7 or 8 is where I'd have you. Falcons Fury says, Pete, do you want to fill me in on this DJ Moore situation? What situation? What's the situation? He's a great receiver. That's the situation. Unless you know something I don't know. Clemson Jacob says, thanks for making me a mod. I just noticed I was one a few minutes ago. You've been one for a couple weeks, sir. But you're welcome, I guess. Uncle Luke says, BVD, what do you think your folks are doing? Either I can't read or you guys can't write. Probably a combination of both. BVD, what do you think your folks are going in football this year? Oh, yeah, that's a question for BBD, not me. DJ is a speed guy, right? No, I mean, he's not like a, no, he's a big, fast guy. He's a very physical receiver. He's definitely a deep threat, but he's not he's just not a speed guy, if that's what you're asking. No, he's more than that. B Spooky says, yeah, he is. DJ Moore was my wide receiver 3 in the draft. Well, I'm pretty sure that DJ Moore was the first receiver taken in the draft. Right? DJ Moore went, and then Ridley went, like literally right after him, to the Falcons. I would have been happy with either one of those. Actually, I wanted Ridley, but I was not upset with Moore. Moore is off Minnesota's team. He's charged with rape, basically. DJ Moore played for Maryland, not Minnesota. Dolphins got Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah. That's good, Nick Bro. I mean, good for you. You got a great shutdown corner. Problem is, the Dolphins are terrible. And Mika Fitzpatrick is not going to fix that, unfortunately. Yes, George is not the same guy. Ed Ingram, LSU lineman arrested. Big shocker. I'm not surprised. Clemson Jacob says, did anything stand out to you in the AP poll, Pete? Yeah, a couple of things did. I did a video on this yesterday. The only thing that stood out to me is, Boise State, UCF, LSU. There's one more team I'm probably missing. There was 4 teams that were, ranked between 20 and 25 that probably shouldn't have been ahead of Northwestern or South Carolina. Northwestern and the University of South Carolina should both be in the top 25. And the fact that they have Boise State and UCF ranked ahead of them is ridiculous. If South Carolina played UCF, TSU lost to Troy. Troy's a high school team. Yeah. George says, I'm starting to feel sorry for college football players that just can't stay out of trouble anymore. What's going on? I don't know. There must be something in the water or maybe something in the weed because they all seem to be smoking weed and it's maybe laced with something. I don't know. Clemson Jacob says, I was surprised Wisconsin was top 4. I was surprised that Wisconsin was ranked ahead of Ohio State. They had Ohio State at 5. Now, here's the thing about this, the AP poll. First of all, not only does it not mean anything because it's going to change 50 times before the end of the season, but the AP poll doesn't even determine anything anymore. I mean, literally, the College Football Playoff Committee decides all this. What is it, week 8? I mean, the AP poll is just a talking point. It's just there to piss people off and give people something to talk about, like what I'm doing. So thank you, AP poll. But it's clearly biased. It's done by writers. And believe me, if you have people like Paul Feinbaum and Greg McElroy, are they part of the AP? Believe me, they don't know any crap. So, Philly 500, King Dingbat. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. If you're here, you are already amazing and fantastic, which I know you are. Did you get a prostate exam today, sir? If you did you find that Falcons Super Bowl ring that we've been looking for? I'm guessing you didn't. He's listening while he drives. Good job, sir. Be safe. Clemson Jacob says, I think they have no rings till like week 6. Then they come out with them. Rankings. No, it's week 8. There's only rankings the last 4 weeks of the season. So after week 8 or week 9, since everybody has a bye week or whatever it is, after 8 games, they start the rankings. Right? Am I right about that? I'm pretty sure I am. George says Minnesota suspended Quintez Cephas for sexual assault against 2 females. Well, Minnesota should have suspended Quintez Cephas for being named Quintez Cephas. I would have just suspended him on that alone. Who's named that? What is that? What is that? Falcons Fury says, well, while you look at it, look for Cam's balls, Philly. Thanks, bud. No need to look for their ring. Yeah, how long have the Falcons been a team? Falcons Fury, how long have the Falcons been a franchise? What year did they come into the league? I'd like to know. I mean, they're basically the Gamecocks of the NFL. Never won anything. Act like they're the best. Big joke. Everybody laughs at you behind your back. Everybody really laughs at that Super Bowl. I mean, that's just a running joke. Sports Fury says, this isn't Josh, it's Sean. Sean, welcome, sir. Clemson Jacob says, I mean, they should have no rankings at all to start the season. Then halfway through, they have a knowing of how good the teams are. Well, that's the whole point of the committee not doing it till week 8, is because they don't want to rank teams before they've seen them play. So the AP poll is not going away. It's just absolutely meaningless. believe me, the writers need something to talk about, and then of course people like me talk about it too. We're talking about it right now, so it is what it is. It doesn't mean anything though. B Spooky says, if Vic didn't go to jail, the Falcons win a ring. No, sorry, sir. George says, you're funny sometimes, Pete, and we love it. Thank you, I guess. Yeah, I'm definitely funny. Like a clown funny. But not funny. College Football Maniac. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you showed up. And if you were here before and I didn't notice, I apologize, but I just saw your name. Yeah, the Super Bowl game really, really pissed me off. I was so upset that lead only to lose. So College Football Maniac, you are a Falcons fan and a Gamecock fan. What a miserable sports football existence you must have, sir. I will say a prayer for you tonight. But in that prayer at the end, I will also ask God to never let the Gamecocks win a national title and never let the Falcons win a Super Bowl. So maybe you don't want me to pray for you. I don't know. Probably is not a very good idea. But I will if you want me to. Falcons Fury, Pete, your quarterback is best known for dabbing and not jumping on balls. So yeah, have fun with that, sir. Our quarterback is also known for having a better record head-to-head versus Matt Ryan than Matt Ryan has against Cam Newton. He's also known for having an NFL MVP, 4 division titles in 7 years, an NFC championship ring, and a crap ton of NFL records. And Matt Ryan is known for being a joker. Yeah. Remember when the AP poll actually meant something? Yeah, when the BCS was still being used. So, 5 years ago, I guess. Rocha says, are you a baseball, basketball, or hockey fan, Pete? No, and no. Now, there's a caveat to that. I do like college basketball. I watch the NBA during the playoffs more than anything, really. I mean, now this year I might watch more than normal just with the storylines. I want to see what LeBron does in LA, obviously. I want to see what Kawhi Leonard does in Toronto. You know, I'm in it more for the storylines and the teams. I don't have a favorite basketball team in the NBA. Obviously, I pay close attention to Clemson basketball, which isn't very good historically. So, you know, if Clemson gets into the tournament, which they did last year for the first time in like 9 years, I was all in on that. But outside of that, not really. And the same goes for baseball. I love October. I love watching the playoffs in the major leagues. I love watching the World Series. But I'm not watching 162 games regular season. Who can keep up with that? I mean, I'm not retired yet. But anyway, so no. In hockey, I couldn't tell you. I know 2 hockey players. I think Wayne Gretzky. Who's another one? I know at least one more. I promise. No, I don't know anything about hockey. I don't even know what icing is. What is that? I know it's a foul of some sort. Billy Dawson says Alabama basketball looking up. Yeah, they looked good last year for sure. Falcons Fury says, well, let's see. Matt Ryan has all those things as well as MVP and all-sir. Try again, buddy. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have all those things. Matt Ryan has one record. It's a passing record. He's been in the league longer than Cam Newton. But head-to-head against Cam Newton, he has a losing record, sir. And since Cam Newton's got to Carolina's won more division titles than Atlanta has. So it's as simple as that. Believe me, Matt Ryan, I hope they re-sign. When's his contract up? Nobody is scared of Matt Ryan. Nobody. Alex Ochekin. Yeah, I've heard of him. You could have told me he was a boxer. I would have believed you. I don't know. Oh, Mario, I do know him. He's from, he played for the Penguins. Mario Lemieux. I do know him too. What's up, the artist formerly known as Drake Luke? How you doing, sir? He's called Wrong on Purpose now. So, in honor of that, I pronounce your name Wrong on Purpose. The artist formerly known as Drake Luke, who soon will just change his name to a symbol, just like Prince did. By next week, anyways, probably. A Pack fan says, Pete, they gave him a huge deal recently. You're talking about Matt Ryan? Their loss. Why would they give him a huge deal? I guess when you blow a 26-point lead or whatever it is, they throw the money at you. Smart move on their part. One reason why the Falcons have never won anything in, 70 years as a franchise, 60 years. They've been a franchise since at least the 70s, right? Somebody tell me. When did Atlanta Falcons become a team? 70s or 60s? Wrong. The artist formerly known as Drake Luke says, no, it's staying as Wrong on Purpose. Well, I'm going to continue to call you the artist formerly known as Drake Luke. College Football Maniac says he kind of wants Matt Ryan to leave. Maybe you can pick up Trevor Lawrence. Well, the only way that's going to happen, sir, is if the Falcons pick in the top 3 in the draft. 2021 or whatever it is. That's when Trevor Lawrence will be in the draft. So for that to happen, the Falcons are going to have to tank to get him. The same way that the Panthers tanked on purpose to get Newton. Did anybody see that season? We literally went out and got a quarterback that had not played in like 2 years. He was like 48 years old. I mean, the guy looked like he had dad bod and everything. The guy was bald, dad bod, beer belly. In like week 10, we called this guy up and said, hey, we'll give you $500,000. Come and play a couple games and lose them on purpose and get your brains beat in. And he said, okay. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. The mid to late 60s. So what is that? Watch how I do math. I'm a genius. All right, so 60s. So 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2000 teens. 50 years you've been in the NFL and you haven't won a Super Bowl. 50 years. Matt Ryan contract extension is 5-year, $150 million, $95 million guaranteed, and $47 million signing bonus. Holy crap. He signed that when? Last year? Oh, man. Well, good. I'm glad. I hope they sign him for another 5 years. Tanking, so what all Cincinnati sports teams do. What Cincinnati teams tanked? I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers tanked for like 5 years, and they're good now. Who in Cincinnati tanked? I mean, the Bengals tanked, but they don't do it on purpose. They just suck. Yeah, okay, so this offseason is when he signed that. So he's there for another 5 years, unless they want to pay him a buttload of money and fire him. Good for them. Isn't there a max of 15 years? I don't know. You mean for a contract? Falcons Fury says, Cam won't last anyway after his legs are gone. So is he. Terrible passer. Well, okay. I mean, when are his legs gone? Let me know. Here's one thing I do know. Matt Ryan will be gone before Cam Newton. And not because of injury or getting old. He'll be gone before Cam Newton because he's going to get cut before Cam Newton does. The Reds. See, I don't know anything about baseball. I know more about baseball from the 90s than I do about now. The only thing I know about baseball right now is that the Astros and the Red Sox are the best two teams in baseball, and Mike Trout is the best player in baseball. Outside of that, and that Japanese guy who got hurt that plays for the Angels, I think. Babe Ruth look-alike, except for not fat, drunk. The guy's a pitcher and an amazing hitter. I will watch that because that's just cool. But unfortunately, the guy got hurt. I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm sure you all know who he is. Be Spooky, good stream, Pete. I'll catch you in the next. See you later, Be Spooky. Have a great day, sir. Yeah, Billy Dawson says Ontani. Yeah, that's the guy's name. That guy's he's awesome. Falcons Fury says, cut. Okay, Pete, I'm starting to think you took me up on that smoking weed thing. No, I don't. I don't have to be high to think that Cam Newton's better than Matt Ryan. Ryan Ridley, good afternoon, sir. I'm going to the home opener for the Titans against Houston. Is Watson starting? Yeah, he'll. Regular season game. Yeah, he's starting. He played one drive the other night and went down and got a touchdown. Yeah. Where is that game being played? That's Ryan Ridley, where do you live? Is that game in Houston or is it in Tennessee? Brain damage, maybe. Yes, maybe brain damage. That is a very good possibility. I've been told by numerous people that it's more likely than not that I do have brain damage. So I'm not going to argue with that. I think I probably do have brain damage. Clemson Jacob, I'm going to Clemson versus Texas A&M first Clemson game. That's awesome, sir. I'm jealous of you going to that. I will be live streaming that game, by the way, for anybody who cares. I'm sure you all care. I'm really looking forward to that game. I'm really looking forward to shutting everybody up who's been talking about it's a trap game for Clemson. I mean, listen, it's just look, anything can happen. It's a road game. I'm sure it's going to be a prime time game. I think it's at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Central Time, so I guess it's going to be 8 p.m. my time, Eastern Time. Either way, it's going to be a prime time game. Everybody's going to be watching it. Of course, Jimbo Fisher versus Dabo Swinney again. Jimbo leaves to the SEC. I mean, the storylines are there for the media just to drool all over this game. Everybody in the whole country is going to want Clemson to lose this game, but it's not happening. If Clemson does lose that game, it will be an epic stream. I might not make it back on YouTube. I might get kicked off for the reaction I'll have for that. So, the game's in Nashville. Okay. Billy Dawson says, Ryan Ridley, a Titans fan. They got a couple awesome Bama boys. Says Oregon is to play Georgia in 2022. Is excited as hell. You might want to not be so excited about that unless Oregon takes a major turn for the better. I don't know how much, if I'm an Oregon fan, I would look forward to playing Georgia in 2022. But listen, that's 5 years away. I mean, who knows what's going to happen between now and then. Oregon. By then, Oregon might be the best team in the country for all we know. I doubt it, but you never know. So I couldn't have said it any better myself, Prince 6'1". The only team on the regular schedule that can beat Clemson is Clemson. You sound like Dabo Swinney when you say that. Yeah. Boston College is more of a trap game than Texas A&M. I agree with that. I agree completely. Boston College is late in the year, on the road at night in Boston. Now you know who Boston College is the biggest trap game for this year. So you know how the ACC and the SEC both rotate their non-divisional. They play one non-divisional matchup. We play Georgia Tech, right, every year. They're not in our division. And then one more non-divisional game in the ACC that we rotate every year. So we play every other team every other 6 years. So Miami plays Boston College this year on Friday night, nonetheless, in Boston College. Now, if you think back 2 years ago, Clemson lost to Pitt on a Friday night. Last year, Clemson lost to Syracuse on a Friday night. Last year, Clemson lost to Syracuse on a Friday night. Last year, Miami lost to Pitt on a Friday night. Luckily, Clemson doesn't have a Friday night game this year. I mean, I'm thanking my lucky stars for that. But Miami, watch out for that game on the road Friday night against Pitt. Clemson will destroy Florida State this year as well. I mean, I don't know. That game is so unpredictable. I tend to agree that we should destroy them. They're still one of the most talented teams as far as just talent, overall talent is concerned in the country. So, I mean, outside of Clemson, they're definitely the second most talented team in the ACC, even top to bottom, probably more talented than Miami, just based on the recruiting over the past 3 years. Willie Taggart inherited a great team, talent-wise. What can he do with it? I don't know. It's in Florida State. It's a rivalry. This game could be 40-7, Clemson. I wouldn't be surprised. This game could be 41-40 or 21-20. Anything in the between, I wouldn't be surprised. That is, I wouldn't bet on that game. That's all I'm saying. Yes, Billy Dawson says if Miami's looking ahead, it could go sideways. I agree. Florida State does always play Clemson tough. You're right. So does NC State. Anytime Florida State and Clemson get on the field, it's going to be, it's too tough to pick. Now, again, Clemson should beat them this year. We have continuity. We have the coaching. We're loaded at every position, veterans everywhere. We should beat them. But, college football is college football. You never know what's going to happen. Clemson has been losing late night away games here in the past couple of years. Teams they do are very much favored and goes to show anything can happen. It's always a Friday night game. So, yeah, those Friday night games are not good for anybody. But like I said, Clemson doesn't have one this year, but Miami does, and it's at Boston College. Somewhere I would not want to play on a Friday night. Late in the year, too, it's going to be cold. That game, if I'm a Miami fan, I'm circling that on my calendar. Mark Richt needs to get his guys up for that, and don't let him get caught slipping. Miami's back and will continue to grow over Florida State. Florida State's third, Miami second, Clemson one. I don't know how to. Clemson's definitely number one in the ACC. Florida State and Miami they can argue back and forth. I mean, Florida State is over the past decade have been tied for first or second with Clemson in the ACC. So Miami had a great year last year, but they need to go out and do it again before they can start saying they're the second best team. We'll see what happens. Anyway, listen, guys, I love you. I got to go. It's been an hour already. I can't believe it. But you guys are all awesome. I hope everybody likes this new time. I hope it works out for everybody. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Write it down. Tattoo it on your forehead. If you tattoo it on your forehead, make sure you tattoo it backwards so when you look in the mirror, it reads correctly. Saturdays, when college football season starts, I will be doing a primetime live stream during a game, live play-by-play and reaction. We're really looking forward to that. And I may jump on here and there randomly if I have time at any other day of the week. Surprise you even. So keep your notifications on. Anyway, if I don't see you until Thursday at 4 p.m., have a great day. Have a great Tuesday and Wednesday. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday even. You're all amazing and fantastic. Yeah. So, Pigskin Pete, checking out.